Hey you guys, I'm back. So if you watched my last video, you kind of know the headspace I'm in right now. But this video, I really need this. What I'm gonna say is like I need to say it. It needs to be said because my friend, an old friend of mine, really he just overdosed and is fighting for his life. And I know a lot of people feel no empathy, feel nothing for drug addicts because they choose, and they do, we choose, not we, I'm not, but when I chose to do it, I didn't choose to become physically, chemically, emotionally, mentally addicted to it, but I did choose to do it. And eventually the choice kind of not becomes ours when it takes over. It takes over your brain, it takes over your body, it takes over everything, and you become possessed by this urge, by this feeling until you do it, and then you're even more possessed by that. So I'm not making excuses. I'm not saying it's the wrong choice. Obviously, there's other ways to cope. However, with that said, I get really sick of people being like, oh, let them die, let them blah, blah, blah. It's like, they're weak. It's like, do you understand why people turn to drugs? Why a lot of people turn to drugs? Earth is not easy. This place is not easy. There is so much terrible things that happen every day that people go through, witness, and experience. And it's like, to cope with that, to cope with such a sick world. And listen, it's getting better. Things are changing. The darkness is coming to light, all right? Things are changing, and it will happen quickly. But it's been dark days for centuries. For a long time, there has been a very dark energy among people here on earth, and they have experienced very terrible things that are very hard to cope with. A lot of predators preying on the innocent and the weak, okay? And what is a coping mechanism? Drugs. Escape, okay? People escape reality every day, and just because maybe you don't do a drug, I guarantee you're escaping some other way. Whether it's your phone, whether it's food, whether it's working so much you can't even think, okay? So before you sit there and judge people who use drugs as an escape, really look at yourself, okay? Working out, people escape every way you can think of, okay? It's not just drugs, but that is sometimes the quickest way to escape the furthest. It's not beneficial. I'm not making excuses. I'm not saying it's the right thing. It's not. What I'm saying is, let's all have a little compassion, because I've met some really heavy drug addicts in my day, and when I listen to their story, I'm just like, if I experienced some of those things, who knows where I would be? Who knows what I would have done? I was fortunate. I am very blessed that my trauma had like a cap. It wasn't as bad as what a lot of people go through. I mean, just the other day I made the video about the homeless woman. Oh, I really hope. Hang on, my baby. I'm gonna see if my partner should be right there. Anyways, the other day I made a video about this homeless woman and the stuff that she had experienced, and I was just like, her mother sold her. Men she was with sold her to other men. She got beaten. One man broke her hip. Like, just crazy stuff, on top of being homeless, on top of what she had to do to survive. You get, like, it's survival. People, a lot of the world has no idea what the rest of the world goes through. If you're like upper class, middle class, like even where I come from is like luxury compared to what people in the city, in the hood, in really poor neighborhoods go through. It is like 5-star. Like, I come from a really poor town. I grew up very poor, I thought, okay? But compared to some of what these people experience, no, I had it good. Man, I had it good. My mama never sold me. My mama never hurt me. She worked her butt off. She worked her butt off to give us a roof over our head and to take care of what we needed and clothes and, you know, stupid things. My mama had to work hard to give us that. You just like, and man, what some of these people go through is just like, it's no wonder they turn to drugs and shame. And I don't like to shame anyone, but shame on anyone who can sit there and put another person down because they don't understand their walk of life. We're all here experiencing different things, and it's like, quit judging. Like, you have to have discernment. I'm not saying like, okay, protect your space, but like, don't look down on people. Don't look down on people because you're better, because you're not. We're not. We just been dealt different hands. We learn different ways of coping. That's it. That's it. So, I don't know. With that said, I just really wanted to put that out there. You know, you don't know what a person goes through, so don't sit there and act like you do, because you don't. You don't know what that person is feeling, what they're thinking, what they're facing and battling every day. The woman I met, she's living in a car. She's living in a van. She's lucky than most because she's in a van. But she had 3 big dogs in there. They're scraping for food. Her boyfriend he was a very skilled mechanic. If you don't remember, they came over to our house because we found them online, marketing themselves as a mobile mechanic. Okay, he was a very smart guy, but can't get a job because of his license, can't get a license because of finances. So it's a vicious cycle. And if you guys know like how people end up homeless or on the street, you would be like, that could happen to me. It happens. You lose your job, then all of a sudden you lose, you know, some people get fires. They have fires and they lose their identity. They lose their birth certificate. They lose their information. And the system, the system we live in doesn't have a route for these people. They end up on the street. There was a guy who just committed suicide. I wish I knew his name. I don't, though. He wrote this long letter. He had a psychology degree. He had a bachelor's degree. He was a really smart man, educated. He ended up homeless and couldn't get out of it because once you're in that position, it is a hole so deep that it is hard to get out of. And you all want to just act like you're better than people on the street. It's like one day that could happen to you. That could be you. So humble yourself. Humble yourself. And when you're on the street, when you see what people really are, we're just animals. Like, sure, we have higher level thinking, we have the ability to create, but some of these people are just animals. And when you're on the street, you become like, this is my territory. I gotta protect myself because you don't know what can happen to you out there. You don't have the comfort of these walls protecting you. If someone wants to hurt me, they gotta come through these walls, okay? Like, I know it's like just a wall. It's not that much. They still could. But we have the illusion of safety within our homes. But none of us are really that safe. And the problem with me, I am sheltered. My partner gets he doesn't like get mad at me, but it's like he gets frustrated. He gets frustrated because I don't understand. Where I come from, there was actually one murder, and it just happened recently. All right, some kids killed another kid over drugs. But and when I was in high school, some kid brought his girlfriend up north, chopped her up, and left her there. And some city kid. But other than that, it's like, people don't do those crazy stuff. Sure, they drink a lot. Sure, maybe they beat up on their wife, but they don't kill people. There's no murder. There's hardly any robberies. It's like safe. Like, I didn't lock my car. I didn't lock my home. I could feel safe out there in the middle of the night in the dark. The city, man, it's not like that. You know what happened to me the other day? I was walking with my son. Listen to this, you guys. I was walking with my son, and we were at a park, and my partner was ahead of me with the dog. Like, he was quite a way. He was like 6 cars ahead of me. I'm walking slow. I got my son. He's up there with the dog, and this 2 people, all right? I see them behind me, and they're walking really fast, like weird, and they're like, it seemed like they were trying to catch up to me. I felt really weird energy. And all of a sudden, they get up to me, and they split up. And now, both of them are on each side of me. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, in my head, I'm thinking, what is going on? What are these people doing? And they stayed like that. And I caught up to my partner, and they realized I was with him, and they immediately went back together and kept walking. Like, I don't know if they were scoping us out, like they were gonna try to snatch my baby or what, but kids are getting taken every day in the city. It's a problem, and I'll get into this. I don't know, you guys. I have to be very careful about what I talk about, because it's true. You can't just come out here talking about stuff, because there's a lot of people being silenced. So I have a family to protect. I can't just say so much. Like, there's a lot of information I will be sharing, but I really have to be careful because I have a family to protect. But my partner gets really frustrated because he acts like I don't know what people in the world are capable of. And the truth is, I don't. I never saw someone murder someone else. He has seen this. He comes from South America. He comes from Guyana, where people get murdered every day. You see dead people on the street every day. I have never seen anything like that. And then he went to Jamaica, Queens, which is like, the hood, and then there's more. He said that the hood was actually safer than Guyana. But yeah, he gets really frustrated with me because he says I live like in a delusion in a way. Like, one time we went to this Walmart here in the city, and it was in a real bad part of town. I don't know, see, bad part of town, that's not a concept to me. Like, I feel like no matter where I am, I'm safe because I'm divinely protected. Like, that's how I feel. But we were in this, I guess, bad part of town because all the other places were out of my water and out of diapers. And so I was, like, just being me, like, just do. And he said, stop it. And I was like, stop what? He said, stop acting like that. And I was like, acting like what? He said, you're acting weak and people are looking at you. And I was like, what? Like, I got upset. I got hurt. And he said, you don't know where you are? And I was like, what do you mean? And we get to the car, and he's like, dude, you're lucky we didn't just get robbed. And I was like, I'm frustrated because I'm like, I don't understand. Please explain this to me. And he said, you can't act like that. He said, people in there, he said I was walking around too happy. And I was like, how can you walk around too happy? He's like, didn't you look how everyone around you was? And I was like, I mean, like, I guess not. Like, everyone was just seemed like a normal place. Like everyone was just like, me, I'm like, that's just how I am. I'm a pretty decently happy person. Even if things are going terrible, I try to keep my energy up. I try to stay vibrating high. It doesn't always work. And you guys have seen my videos when I'm low. But like, yeah, he said that is a sign of weakness. And I would be an easy target. Had I been alone, I would have got robbed. Had I been alone, it would have been bad, is what he said. I don't know, that concept, like, I never even thought that was, like, possible. You know, that, I mean, I know people get robbed and hurt and other stuff, but, like, I don't know. So, like, sometimes like, I'll say, okay, I want to do this, and he'll say, no, you can't. And I'll be like, why? And he'll be like, because it's not safe. And I'm like, it's not safe. Like, nothing can happen to me. Nothing can happen to me. And he's like, look, my job is to protect you and protect our family. So no. He said, you can do it if you want. But I'm saying, no, you shouldn't. He doesn't tell me what to do. He really doesn't. But, like, I always check with him with a lot of stuff because, one, I respect him. Two, I rely on him for, like, that not protection, but I guess protection, but, like, he's that rock, you know, like that, like, okay, I'm feeling a little crazy, like, I go to him, you know, like, I'm feeling a little whatever, I go to him. So before I make, like, you know, life-changing decisions, I ask him. And sometimes I get really mad when he says, no, I don't think that's a safe idea, but I respect it because he's seen what the world's capable of, and I haven't. So, I don't know. You guys, this is another long video, and I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope you guys all have a good night, but this video was just, like, watch yourself. Don't be judging people, because next thing you know, you're in that position, and I don't wish any of what anybody has experienced upon anybody else. So that's that. Alright, I don't know. Anyway, you guys have a good night, and I will see you probably tomorrow. I'll see you probably tomorrow. So, alright.